So, if you're someone who has, dedicated countless hours to the mechanics of manifestation,
Hmm.
the vision boards, the affirmations, the really intense visualizations, only to feel like that thing you want is always just out of reach,
Always on the horizon.
exactly, then you are probably feeling what the sources call manifestation fatigue.
It's a real thing. It's an energetic burnout.
It is. It's the exhaustion that comes from all that striving. We've been told to focus so much on the doing, the hustling, the forcing.
Micromanagement of the universe?
Yes, and we completely miss the core paradox of all this work. So our mission in this deep dive is to explore this really radical shift in perspective.
Which is that the deepest truth of attraction is you have to detach to attract.
And the real power isn't in striving louder, it's in becoming the person who just quietly expects what they once desperately chased.
And to really frame this, we have to talk about what's called a felt truth. Your life isn't really mirroring your loudest, most enthusiastic wishes.
Yeah.
It's mirroring your inner identity, that deep, quiet, underlying sense of who you are and what's possible for you. The material suggests all that loud performance is often just energetic static.
Right. It's just noise.
It's just noise.
Yeah.
The truly magnetic energy, the thing that actually shifts your reality, comes from this subtle internal certainty, a quiet knowing. We're moving today from the anxiety of what if it doesn't happen to the peace of I already know it's done.
I love that focus on internal certainty. I mean, the source stack really brings that initial phase to life. When you first set an intention, it's so light, it's electric.
It feels amazing.
It's that spark of co-creation. But then for so many people, something shifts.
Is that really it?
Instead of focusing on the promise of the desire, all of their attention just snaps right to the absence of it. And just like that, the energy contracts, everything gets heavy.
And that contraction, that's the central point of friction.
Yeah.
The more emotional energy you pour onto the fact that what you want isn't here yet.
The not here-ness of it.
The not here-ness, exactly. The stronger the signal you send about lack. That focus on absence becomes your dominant frequency.
So the key takeaway is life responds to frequency, not volume.
Precisely. Think of it like a radio. You can turn the volume way up, you can shout your affirmations louder, but if the dial is just slightly off the true frequency, all you're going to get is distorted noise.
It's not tuned in.
It's not tuned in. It's tuned into your deep subconscious belief, not your surface level begging or, your desperation.
That makes perfect sense. It's not about how loud you are, but how precisely the tuner is set.
Yeah.
So let's break down these two energetic states.
Yeah.
On one side, we have what we're calling chasing.
Right.
This is that panic-driven state. It's fueled by FOMO, or this belief that if you stop pushing for even a second, the whole thing is just going to collapse.
And the sources are so clear on this. Any action you take from that state of chasing, it carries the weight of resistance. Well, say you send an important email about a deal, but you're just trembling with the feel that it's going to fail. That fear vibration gets embedded in the action itself. And more often than not, it actually repels the very thing you want.
Okay, so the alternative state is attracting or flow. What does action from that state look like?
It's action that comes from a place of trust, from a grounded presence and a quiet confidence. The sources call these actions clean.
Clean. I like that.
They're steps you take because they feel inspired and aligned, not because they feel necessary for your survival. They carry the frequency of already having. The action is just a formality, really, to align with a reality you already know is on its way.
Instead of that heavy struggle of trying to get.
Exactly. And that is an enormous distinction for anyone listening.
So the fundamental shift here isn't to stop taking action, it's to change the energy behind the action.
Yes.
We move from gripping our desires, clenching our fists so tight we can't accept anything new,
To grounding.
to grounding ourselves in where we are now. While holding the vision, we shift from just hoping, which always has a little bit of doubt in it, to a deep, unshakable knowing.
And that lets you move from controlling the timeline to actually truly trusting the process.
Which is the perfect bridge to our next concept,
Yeah.
the power of quiet expectation.
That's it.
Now, when we say quiet expectation, it almost sounds too easy,
It does.
especially in our culture that just worships hustle. It suggests that this subtle, quiet undercurrent of energy is the real magnetic core, not all the flashy stuff.
It is. It absolutely is. Expectation functions as the unconscious blueprint that your entire reality follows. We spend all day fighting external circumstances, but we forget that our inner world is projecting them in the first place.
Can you give an example of that?
Sure. Let's say you repeat affirmations for wealth every single morning, But your quiet background expectation, the one rooted in, say, childhood scarcity, is that money is hard to keep and struggle is normal.
So which signal gets through?
The struggle. Always. The subconscious whisper of scarcity will always drown out the conscious shout for abundance.
It's the deeper frequency.
It is. Or think about relationships. You can be on all the apps declaring you're ready for love, but if you quietly expect abandonment because of an old wound,
You're going to find it.
you're going to find it. You'll either subconsciously pick partners who confirm that expectation, or you'll push away healthy love because it doesn't feel normal. What feels normal is what we maintain, no matter what we say we want.
This brings up a really critical question, and I'm sure listeners are thinking it. How is this different from just forcing positivity or blind positivity?
That's a great point.
I mean, if I've just lost my job and I'm deeply worried, isn't telling myself everything is fine just a form of denial?
It's a necessary distinction to make. Quiet expectation is not blind positivity.
Right.
It's not ignoring doubt. It's actually the result of deep internal alignment. It means your identity has finally caught up to your desire. You aren't trying to convince yourself anymore. You simply are that person. It's the difference between forcing yourself to act confident while your hands are shaking and just being so certain in your skill that confidence is a byproduct. It doesn't need to announce itself.
So the work really begins with awareness, with just listening to that subtle default setting.
Yes.
We have to pause and listen to those internal conversations, the ones that are often self-sabotaging. When things go quiet, when the phone doesn't ring, what is your nervous system defaulting to?
Fear or faith.
Exactly. The real work is recalibrating your entire system to expect safety, success, and fulfillment as a normal state of being, not some fantasy you have to fight to hold on to.
And that grounding leads us right to the core transformation. The identity shift. This might be the hardest truth in all of the source material.
Which is?
You attract who you are, not primarily what you want.
That's the architect of it all. Your outer life just cannot outgrow your inner identity for very long. If your internal self-concept is anchored in unworthiness or uncertainty, your external results will always find a way back to that.
We see it all the time with self-sabotage. Think about the person who wins the lottery but loses it all within a year.
Right.
They got the thing they wanted, but their internal identity was still set to struggler or unworthy. The whole system just corrected itself to match the underlying blueprint.
There's this analogy in the sources about planting seeds that is just so visceral. Wanting something without doing the identity work, it's like planting seeds in dry soil.
Perfect analogy.
You can have the best intentions, the most precise visualizations, but if the ground, your inner self, isn't ready to hold that growth, the seed just won't thrive.
So the transformation happens in the becoming, in the process of embodiment. And the sources give us a pretty clear 3-step framework for this.
What's step one?
It's an internal inquiry. You have to ask, who is the version of me that already lives this reality? Not what do they have, but who are they? How do they think? How do they move? How do they make decisions when there's a setback?
Okay, so step two is where I can see a skeptical listener pushing back, which is act in harmony with that version now. Isn't that just fake it till you make it?
That's a crucial distinction. Faking it is a performance driven by desperation.
Okay.
Embodiment is a quiet choice driven by conviction. You're not waiting for the result to prove your identity. You are choosing the mindset and the posture of your future self now, and you're allowing the result to catch up.
So when you embody, you feel the shift inside first. When you fake it, you feel the tension of wearing a mask.
Precisely. And the third step, the one that's so often the missing link, is integrating the body.
Your nervous system.
Your nervous system. We're not just minds. If your body's survival mechanism believes that success or deep intimacy is actually dangerous, maybe it triggers an old trauma or fear of responsibility.
Then that fear will just manifest as resistance or sabotage, no matter what you affirm.
That's right. If your body responds to expansion with contraction, you'll unconsciously create drama to get back to the familiar state of struggle. This is why practices like breath work and mindful movement are so key.
You're teaching your nervous system that it's safe to expand.
You're teaching it that it's safe to succeed. You are literally creating an emotional home where your default expectation is abundance, not survival.
And once that identity is grounded, we can finally talk about the concept that trips up almost everyone. Detachment. When we hear that word, we think we have to give up on our dreams or pretend we don't care.
Let's redefine it. Detachment is not indifference. It is absolutely not giving up. Desire is sacred. It's the energy of creation.
Here, what is it then?
Pure detachment is the absence of desperation. It's the release of that grasping energy. The problem isn't the desire. It's when desire turns into attachment.
Which is when you tie your self-worth to the outcome.
Or your happiness on a specific timeline. That attachment is always, always fear in disguise.
So if I say, I need this job offer by Tuesday or I'm a total failure, that's attachment.
Precisely. And the ego loves that space. The ego wants certainty, it wants control, because it sees trust in the unseen as risky, dangerous.
So when things take time, the ego panics.
It panics, it tells you to force it, to micromanage, and that just creates friction. The real shift is moving from a conditional sense of self, I am valuable if I get X, to an unconditional one. I am valuable always, regardless of X.
When you get to that unconditional place, the effect of letting go becomes so obvious. The sources say you can't receive with clenched fists.
You can't.
Letting go isn't defeat, it's how you reclaim your power. And crucially, it's how you create the energetic space for your desires to actually land. You're telling the universe you're open and receptive, not frantic and demanding.
And to sustain that receptive state, we have to talk about maintenance. Alignment isn't a finish line, it's a daily practice. It requires emotional discipline and energetic hygiene.
Okay, let's break those down. Emotional discipline.
It's often confused with just repressing your emotions. And it's not that. It's the choice to respond instead of reacting.
What's the difference?
Okay, say you submit a proposal and you haven't heard back. The reaction is to spiral into fear, assume you failed, send a bunch of frantic follow-ups.
Right.
The response is to acknowledge the anxiety, regulate your breath, and choose to hold the frequency of success anyway, knowing that the timing is irrelevant to your worth.
That makes it really tangible. And the second part, energetic hygiene.
That's about boundaries, right?
It's about boundaries, and it's about recognizing internal static. If you're constantly absorbing the chaos and fear of others, doom scrolling, getting into pointless arguments, listening to people explain why your dream is impossible.
You're polluting your own signal.
You have to set clear boundaries. You have to simplify your environment and clear out that static so your coherent frequency can radiate strongly.
This maintained alignment, it then gets tested.
The sources call them testing times, and they are the biggest tripping hazard. We see a delay or a minor setback, and we think it's proof that we did something wrong.
And we have to reframe them completely. Testing times are not punishment, they are invitations.
Invitations for what?
To prove to yourself that your identity has actually shifted. The universe is asking, can you hold your new higher frequency without any external confirmation? Can you keep your peace when the world hasn't caught up yet? If you revert to the old fear-based identity, you just affirm the old reality.
So the goal is energetic neutrality, the ability to hold your vision and your peace at the same time without assigning some huge dramatic meaning to every little delay.
You start measuring time and you start deepening your presence.
Yeah.
And this requires truly trusting the unseen timeline.
That's the biggest mistake, isn't it? Confusing no visible movement with no movement at all.
It is. Progress is so often unfolding in dimensions you can't see. Think of a seed. The most important growth happens underground, in the dark, in silence, where the roots are deepening.
Long before the sprout ever breaks the surface.
Exactly. Trust is rooted in that quiet knowing that life is orchestrating what matches your highest alignment, not just your immediate impatient desire.
And to anchor us during that silent underground process, we can turn to gratitude, which is described here as a mechanism that actually stabilizes your frequency.
It is. Gratitude immediately shifts your focus from the emptiness of what's missing to the fullness of what's already working.
It grounds you in the present.
It grounds you in present abundance. And it signals to the universe that your field is already open, already receptive. It's the daily declaration of alignment that keeps you from slipping back into scarcity during those testing times.
So we bring this powerful deep dive home with the ultimate transformation. You stop hustling for your worthiness, which is just exhausting and creates resistance, and you start living as the magnetic self. That's the self that is grounded, clear, and so certain of its own value that it doesn't need to beg or chase. It just draws everything to it.
And that quiet power is undeniable because it's congruent. The work was never really about proving you deserve something because you were worthy from the start. The work was simply to remember that you already are.
That remembrance is the loosening of the grip.
It is.
So we want to leave you with this final thought to carry into your day. Forget the impossible timelines, forget the heavy visualizations for just a moment. Instead, ask yourself this: what small, tangible act of trust can I embody right now that reflects the quiet certainty that what I desire is already mine in the energetic realm.
Can you embody the peace of knowing it's already done?
Yeah.
And can you release that heavy responsibility of controlling exactly how and when it's going to arrive?